Okay, now that we have our baseline, we have our alignments, we have our right-of-ways in, we're going to begin to put some points in there and also deal with some of the alignment details that Civil 3D will let us handle. But first I'm going to go and navigate to the prospector and look at my point groups. And I notice that my blank point group has a caution symbol, which means it needs to be updated. So I'm going to go ahead and update that. And it's added the point groups, points that were created to it. And what I'm also going to do is create a couple of point groups. So we're going to go up here, create a new point group. I'm going to call this baseline. I'm going to include all the points that belong to this baseline by number. So that's point 11 through point 14. Go to the list, notice it's including that, apply it, OK that. You might notice they've come back on the screen because from a hierarchy standpoint, they're above the control and the blank. If we don't want to see the control, what we can do is go to properties of the point groups, promote the blank between the baseline and control, apply it, OK it. Sometimes it requires a regen, but it looks like that one worked. So there I've got my baseline points out. So we're going to go ahead and set up points. We're going to start here at 8, work our way around. I'm just going to do the end points on this polyline, so I'm not going to worry about the center points. I'm going to make sure that I've got the setting that I want with my OSNAP. So I'm going to get rid of center and just leave endpoint on. Make sure that's active. Go to points, miscellaneous, manual, and let's set up a creation here. So we're going to set the description for points to automatic so that I don't have to keep entering that value. And I'm going to set the value to RW for right away. And I want to make sure that the point identity is still set to sequential numbering false, which it is, so it will be prompting me for point number. I'm going to start down here in the southwest corner, select that endpoint, call it 8. Notice it says right away. Come up here, click that. That's 41. 39. 21. And you can continue this process all the way through, so take a few minutes to do that. Okay, if you have completed that, you should see you have all your points in, at least on this southern half of the lateral, and they're numbering the way that we've spec'd them, and the right-of-way designation is coming in automatically for us, and that's a really nice thing. Also notice, because we've added points, blank doesn't contain those, so we're going to right-click, update that. They should disappear, and we'll create a new group for these guys, properties, new, just call it right away, and we're going to include all of the points with description matching RW. It is case sensitive, so make sure you've done that correctly. Check your point list, and you'll notice what's in there. Everything should say RW. Apply that, OK that. That group is now above blank and all of those. So what we're going to now do is get rid of everything. We're going to move the blank control up on top of everything, apply it, and all of your points should disappear. If they don't, follow that up with a regen, which is just simply RE and hitting enter. Okay, besides the alignment tools that you can build and edit and create alignments with, you can also do the same thing with points. There's some very interesting things in there under alignments. We're going to take a look at two of them. One is called station and offset. The other one is called at alignment geometry. And we're going to use the at alignment geometry first, but we need to set up some tools on our points. Let's see if it might pick it up. Yeah, what we're going to do is go ahead and open up this guy here, and under the points creation, what we're going to do, instead of automatic, we're going to say automatic object, and what that will do is pick up the information from the object itself, which is the alignment. going to go down to the point identity. I'm going to set the number to start at. For my alignment, we're going to use 50 because I don't think we've used any of those points from that value yet. But we are going to turn it on to true and let it increment. Believe it might do that anyway, but this will be just make it simpler for us. So now all we have to do is select our alignment, enter for the starting station, enter for the ending station, and you should see your points now on there. Notice it harvests all the information: lateral, name of the alignment, the station in a selected value, beginning of alignment, PC, PT. So it's done really a lot of work for us that we don't have to mess with. And so again, point group blank needs to be updated. So we're going to go ahead and update that, and we're going to create a new group, and we're going to call this alignment, or I'll just call it lateral. And I'm going to include points numbering from 50, and I believe we're just a little bit beyond that, so I'm going to go to 65, look at my list, and it actually stops at 61. And notice their description is all lateral, so it's all there. We're going to go ahead and apply that and OK that. And you notice you've got that now. And everything's updated. And again, look at what you got. They're really nicely laid out. And so what we're going to go ahead and do now is set the blank on top. So I'm going to properties, move blank on top of lateral. So we can look at any different group of points by utilizing that, and that's just kind of like freezing and thawing points, which makes it really nice. So now we're going to take a look at the last sheet, the third sheet here of your project, and you'll notice that there's a temporary construction easement that's running along the south line and the north line of our project, and everything is given by station offset. And what we're going to do is establish points along that using the station offset routine, and we will have it go ahead and automatically label and point number for us, and all we'll have to do is key in the information. A couple of points to remember: stations do not have to be entered with plus signs, and offsets are either positive for a right offset or negative for a left offset, and that's pretty universal with a lot of these programs, but that's definitely the way it works in Civil 3D. So what we're going to do is go into the points menu, alignments, station, and offset. And we're going to go ahead here and set up some different things here now. What I'm going to do is, instead of automatic on object, I'm going to set that back to automatic, and we're going to set the value to easement. I'm just going to call it ease. I'm going to close that aspect. Points creation, go to point identity. I'm going to start with 70, and we're going to leave sequential numbering on again because we want it to do a lot of our work for us. So I'm going to close that. Wants me to select the alignment again, select the alignment, and notice you get this little thing here coming out. This is called a glyph, and it allows us then to either drag a point in by station offset, or to be more specific, which is what we want to do. So specify station, the first point is at 30, and its offset is 60 feet right. And you should notice that you get a point down there, 70 at ease, and we're going to go up to 300, 42 right. Notice that comes in. I'm going to move over to 693, 37, 66.95 right, and we'll continue the process till we get to the end at 10.94.35. Okay, I have my points in on the southern part, so we're going to work to the north part now, and everything stays the same. The only thing we have to remember is the offset has to be a negative. So I'm going to jump onto the other side. 1094.35 minus 30. There's my first point. Next point will be at 800 minus 70. And again, you can finish that process all the way over to 0 plus 30. Okay, should have everything completed now. If you've made a mistake with a point, you can always easily delete it and get back into that routine and recreate it. Again, notice that our points are now not actually added into the blank group. So what we're going to do is go ahead and update and create a new group for easement. Call it easement. And include points matching 70 through 85, I believe worked. Let me see. Point list, yeah, 82 was the last point. So we're good there. Go ahead and apply that. And easement comes in above blank, so it's still showing up. That's good. I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer here. We have a lot of layers here in Civil 3D that you work with, and a lot of those are really hard to get rid of. So you kind of got to deal with it. But I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer. Call it easement. Make it green. Make it a line type of dashed. And I'm also going to make it current. So we're going to come back now and construct our line using our line routine. So I'm going to come here, create a line by point object, and just select the point object any place convenient. And that be the wrong point, so I'm going to do another one here. Okay, and there's our line work. Okay, now that we have created all of our points and we've got our right-of-way information in and our easement in, we might want to get some information about some of those objects. And Civil 3D has a lot of ways of doing that. We looked at one the other day, a listing, and that was found under the Analyze tab. So what you do want to do is navigate to the Analyze tab over in the Inquiry section. We use this line arc tool, which is very nice for just selecting. So if I just select that line, it gives me the information. And I open up the F2 box. But this one here is called the Inquiry tool, and it will open up this box here, and it'll give me an inquiry type. This is based on object types within Civil 3D. So you notice that you'll have points and surface, alignment, profile. We'll go to point first, and we have what's called a point inverse in there. And within this you can type in a point number, or you can select it on screen. So for instance, I could type in point 80, and then I could type in point number 72. Draws me a temporary line that doesn't exist actually, and just a virtual object, and then it will give me the bearing and the distance. And if I scroll down, sometimes you'll see these fields don't look like they have any containing information. Sometimes you have to open that box just a little, and notice there's my bearing and my distance. And when I open this up and we go to alignments, there's several different things we can do in there. What we're going to take a look at is this alignment station and offset at point. So because we have several different alignments, we're going to choose the alignment we want. It becomes active up here, and then we can pick the coordinate value. So we're just going to select that guy and come over here, and I'm going to pick an O snap right there. Notice it gives me a little symbol there, and it tells me there's my XYZ value, or X and Y, and the station offset. And I can go to points that don't really have a point on them, so I can say like midpoint. snap to that midpoint. And notice there's my updated information here. So this tool is very useful. It takes a little bit of getting used to, and it's also somewhat of a big thing. So when you're done with it, you typically want to dismiss it. You also have the ability in Civil 3D to generate reports, either that you can see on screen or that can save them in HTML format or other formats. So what we're going to do is go over here to the tool space, and we're going to go to this thing called the toolbox. If you don't have your toolbox up, you can make him active on the home tab here. There's this guy, the toolbox. So if your toolbox isn't there, select that, and that should become active down here as a tab. And there are utilities and reports. What we're going to do is actually look at the reports manager. If you open that up, you'll see there's several different kinds of reports that can be generated for alignments, for points, types, all the different object types that you have within Civil 3D. There's also settings, and we want to take a look at those. So we're going to go to this little tool guy here and open him up, and you'll notice this is report settings. And for the different types of things that you've got, you can change things like clients and owners and all of that. Let's open up the alignment. You'll notice you have different things for the alignment that you can set up, such as coordinate. Notice our coordinates default value. Our unit is default. Precision is 3. We may want to bounce that up to 4. We might want to say for linear distance, instead of 3, maybe 2, because that's more common. For angular, again, DMS is very common, and that usually means that we're going to get degree minutes second with the 4 out like that. If you're dealing with radial stakeout, which a lot of people would do, again, you can make your settings in there. Again, coordinates set to 4 more realistically. Angles, depending on what you're using. I've got it set to deflection. I might have it angles right, might have it whatever I'm looking for. Okay, so let's set that up first. And then I'm going to go over here and determine what we want to do. We're going to look at a couple things. We're going to look at one is called the under the alignment section. So if your alignment is closed, open it up. And we're going to take a look at what's called stakeout alignment report. This is a very nice way of getting a stakeout, and actually we can do a stakeout to a curve. So I'm going to double click that. And what we're going to actually do is just do the alignment points for the lateral. So we're going to toggle off State Route 64 and US 25. And I'm going to occupy my points. Let's see,